I'm not normal. Phone.
What is she gonna do with the phones?
All right, welcome back to another School Principal Reacts. This is Brandon here coming to you with something just a little bit different today. I'm going to be reacting to this video that a few viewers have mentioned to me before. It's from the YouTube channel Jeremy Hutchins, who has nearly 10 million subscribers, I believe, just a few more than me. And he made this video a number of months ago called I Exposed the World's Most Evil Teachers. It was recommended by several viewers, and I can't wait to see what this is. Is this real? How is he exposing them? I'm not really sure, but we're going to find out here together. If you're not a subscriber to my channel, I encourage you to click the button below to become one, but without further ado, let's start watching the video.
Hey, I'm going to be exposing the worst rated substitute teachers to ever exist. My son was texting me back in class after I texted him an important question, but that's until the substitute teacher grabbed my son's phone and threw it across the class.
Ooh, okay. So again, I guess I'll find out, but I'm like, how real is this? Are these real situations? Are these real teachers? Or was this staged? Or maybe some combination of the two, half real, half not? So this happens sometimes where a parent will try to get in touch with a student. I do talk to students a lot about this. Like, if you need to contact your parents, we can let you do that, but don't just take your phone out and text them, because the majority of the time that's not what's happening, and students are just texting someone else or on Snapchat, social media, or whatever, and they're trying to do other things, and the teacher has no way of knowing if that's really your mom that you're texting or not. So I tell them, just talk to the teacher, and more than likely they'll either let you go to the office or let you step out or something. But throwing it across the room, no, that's a potential firing. So that's number one. Let's see how far we get into the potential firings with this video.
Unbelievable. 0 stars. That has to be the strictest no phone policy I have ever heard of. But I'm gonna give these teachers...
Actually, the no phone policy, that's actually not that uncommon for the phone to maybe be taken, or just a simple, hey, put that up. But to throw it across the room is absolutely unacceptable. The policy, though, as far as just not using it like that, is not that uncommon. There are school districts that allow students to use phones in class, and there are many others that just don't, or somewhere in the middle, like you can use it if the teacher allows you to, or you can use it at certain times, stuff like that.
There's a chance to prove their terrible ratings wrong. And the best one of the day is going to win $1,000.
Oh, okay.
The principal of this school gave us permission to invite the worst rated substitute teachers to come and teach a class for the day. And we're closely going to be
And my question is, like, how did they do that? And I guess I'll get a sense of how real is this? Is this totally, completely fake, and they just staged it for the purposes of this video? Or did they somehow lure these teachers into this classroom as a substitute teacher? I did see a California flag in that principal's office, so I'm guessing this is a California school somewhere. Really unusual, but let's keep going.
Monitoring all of the live footage from all the security cameras we set up around the entire classroom.
And the teachers better be on their best behavior, because we're gonna see everything.
Literally everything. So I wish all these one-star teachers the best of luck. Alright, are you guys ready for the worst rated teachers that come in this classroom? Just so you guys know, these are going to be substitute teachers that are replacing your normal teacher. And guys, we are not Jeremy and Sean. We're janitors, okay? You can't blow or cover. The first teacher's about to be here. Everybody, get your game faces on.
All right, here we go.
Really quiet when I explain this, but right behind me is how we're going to determine if the teachers are strat or not. If me and Sean both agree that the teacher is good, then they're going to receive a strat sticker.
And I'm going to weigh in on this as well. This is really interesting, the way they have it set up. Again, I'm wondering how real this is, but I don't mind rating them either and chiming in. They may not know what they're looking at when it comes to a good teacher, and I've said in previous videos that sometimes people's definition of a good teacher is really, really different from really what it should be, but let's keep going.
If the teacher is in strat, they will not be taking home the $1,000. All right, so the first teacher's name is Mr. Crane. He looks like a pretty chill guy. Maybe too relaxed.
I'm Mr. Crane. Going to be your substitute today. Oh, dude, he's walking in with candy. It's kind of nice, actually.
I brought you guys some candy today. Brought some Mama Joy's.
Okay.
Oh my God, bro! No wonder why it's a 1-star review. Who likes almond joys?
And this guy, I don't know if this is real or not. I've never seen a teacher that will give out candy straight away. Have I seen substitute teachers that bring candy? Yes. Do they just give it out immediately? No. Like, why would you do that? If you think about it, think about if you were a substitute teacher. So you could bring candy, but you would want to do it as some sort of incentive. A lot of schools don't like for substitute teachers to do that because there's some liability for the school, like if something happens with that or if someone gets sick or whatever. But if you're going to do that, you're wanting to use it as some sort of incentive. In other words, if you complete your assignment or if you don't misbehave or if you do something that you're really supposed to do anyway, but it's just a little bonus, like you wouldn't just bring a bunch of candy and immediately give it out to the students. That's a really bad practice and makes me question whether this substitute teacher really is real or not, or if they just sort of paid these people and staged the whole thing. I'm not really sure yet.
Especially kids. Bring some Mr. Beast bars. Come on. He's just kind of moping around right now, not really showing much energy. He did bring some candy for the kids. That was thoughtful. He didn't need to do that.
So,
True.
what did you learn?
Good question.
All the kids having math.
And this looks more and more staged. Maybe I'm wrong, but he just sat there at the desk and didn't say anything. He's going to go into what the lesson is or have some sort of plan or give them some sort of instructions right at the beginning. And he says, or the student said, "What are we learning today?" And he says, "Math." And then they groan about it as if that's not normal. It just doesn't seem right. There's something off about this, but let's keep watching.
Test today, so let's see how good the sub is at preparing for it.
Let me take you a test. Positive numbers, negative numbers, multiplication.
Wait a second, did he just misspell multiplication? Dude, all the kids are not gonna give a break for that one.
Mu-o? That's not multiplication. I don't know how to do mu-multiplication.
Stop making jokes. You know what it means, multiplication.
And guys, based on how bad
It said M-U-T-L-E, didn't it? That's what I saw. And again, this may just be staged, but it'll still be fun to comment on.
the substitute teacher is, that's how hard the kids are gonna mess with him.
Our teacher usually gives us an overview before doing the test.
Your teacher did ask me to put a presentation together. I gotta go get...
No, now I know this is staged. So no teacher would ever do that. Ask him to put a presentation together? No. As a substitute teacher, you're expected to teach or give the lesson that the teacher has prepared. You're not expected to put a presentation together for the students. If there may be a presentation, but that substitute teacher is going to have that from the teacher and go through it, or at least give the students access so that they can go through it themselves. They're not going to put a presentation together. This is very strange and feels very staged. Now, this guy actually does seem like he may be a real substitute teacher, but this situation is very, very staged. I don't see this as being real, but let's see what kind of presentation he has.
I'll be right back. Stay put and settle down.
Oh, he actually brought a...
Stay put and settle down. You're leaving the room. I've spoken about this many times on this channel. Like, you don't leave the room. That's like rule number 0. You don't leave the room, particularly if you're a substitute teacher, because of the stigma involved in being a substitute teacher and students just trying to get away with things that they might not otherwise try to get away with. But let's see what happens.
A presentation to show the class.
I'm surprised you actually did that.
So, a few comments. And yeah, this is, I mean, I'm sure it's going to be good fun, but it is very staged. So this is why you don't leave the room. You notice it says here, one of the kids are yelling, and I paused it on this subtitle, best substitute ever, right? So the definition of what these kids think is a good substitute teacher is one that just leaves and lets them do whatever they want to do. That's a good substitute teacher. A good substitute teacher in reality is someone who is firm but fair, friendly, but holds students accountable, but positive, encouraging, welcoming too. It's a fine line that you walk really as a teacher or a substitute teacher in having both of those qualities controlling the classroom, but also being approachable and welcoming and encouraging and all of those things, and teaching the lesson. That's your main job. Control the classroom, teach the lesson, so that when the regular teacher comes back, the students did actually get some progress. Maybe not as much as they would have had the regular teacher been there, but they shouldn't have been just wasting an entire day.
Best substitute ever! He's letting us do whatever we want!
Yeah, he's letting us do whatever we want.
Presentation you asked for.
Bro, it literally looks like he just made that a couple minutes before coming in. If the actual teacher saw this, they would be extremely upset.
You should cover everything that's going to be on the test. Pay attention.
You know, it doesn't look the greatest, but as long as the information is there, particularly if he put this together himself, it's not terrible. I'm not sure about the information that's on it, but Jeremy is judging like just the quality of the look of the presentation. And again, substitute teachers don't do that. The teacher would just send them, hey, show them this, go through this with them on the board, or just have this up so they can look at it, whatever it may be, whatever they need for their assignment that particular day.
Take notes.
Okay, I can definitely see why this guy is a one-star teacher now. He started off good with bringing in the candy, but now he's showing a presentation that's not even close to being done.
There's nothing to take notes about. It's all false information. We're
False
all gonna fail
information.
this test. You literally haven't taught us anything.
Man, I feel bad.
And these kids, it's so funny. They've obviously been coached to make some of these remarks. Not that students would never ever say this ever, but just to boldly come out and do that. They've been coached on kind of how to act. This is pretty funny.
For the kids. But hey, this is why we're doing this video, to expose the worst rated
The
teachers.
first one's A, the second one's B, the third one's C.
Indoor voices, please. We're doing this test.
And there's no way on earth that they would just keep doing class with all this paper on the floor. And he didn't say anything when he came back in from leaving the class about all this paper on the floor that they just threw everywhere. This is messed up in a lot of ways, but it is going to be pretty funny.
Every single one of these kids is definitely going to get an F on their test.
Shouldn't have to be repeating myself. You guys know the rules. I'm going to sit here, take a break while you're taking the test.
Now, taking a break is not part of the substitute teacher's day, at least not while class is going on. Now, during the regular teacher's planning period, there may be a break or lunch break. That's fine. The teacher can kind of do what they want to do unless there's something else that is needed by the school. And by the way, you may have a test when the sub is there. If you're a teacher, you probably don't want to give a test or any kind of assessment when you're not going to be there, but occasionally it may be unavoidable, and you may just say to the substitute teacher, look, all you have to do is give this assessment. Make sure whatever instructions that the substitute teacher needs to have to be on the lookout for this or to do it in this manner, and then that's it. They give the assessment, and that's it. Now, it's not ideal, but I have seen it done before.
You know what? I think it needs a little waking up. I think it's time for Mission Wake Up. I'll be right back. See you, Sean.
Hey, Jeremy, what are you doing?
Now, have I seen a teacher or a substitute teacher asleep during a class? Yes, I have. It does happen, but this guy almost like intentionally did that. If he is saying, I'm going to take a break, and he intentionally goes to sleep, that's a potential firing. I think we're on number 2 now. Nothing else would really get him fired that I've seen. It's just kind of bad practice, the way that he talks and kind of interacts with the students. But if he's intentionally going to sleep, that's a problem. He needs to be out of there ASAP. But let's see what Jeremy does here.
Dude, you better not get us in trouble, or else this is gonna foil the entire plan.
I'm using the calculator, okay? It's a high no, I'm playing.
And honestly, that's pretty good. I haven't seen that before, but yeah, I guess I've seen students try and hide their phone or use of their phone in other ways with books and other things that they're kind of hiding it behind, but I've never seen the calculator cover. That's actually pretty good.
Roblox. I bought my special calculator from home. And look at this. It has all of the answers.
This may look like
cheating.
an ordinary marble, but look. I have all the answers here. There's no way a substitute can know.
Yeah, nice coaching by the makers of this video. I've not seen any of this stuff before. Not that it couldn't happen. I just don't think anybody would go to these links, and this girl supposedly has written the answers to the test on the inside of a water bottle label. I've never seen anything close to that. I have seen people try to hide them using their phone during class, but not this. No way.
I put a sticky note in my shoe, has all of the answers on it. Look at this.
I want to say I've seen something similar to this with the paper in the shoe or paper in the sock, but it's extremely rare. Most people just don't go to links like that.
All the kids are catching on that Mr. Crane doesn't really give a crap, so they're just kind of doing whatever they want right now.
Ooh,
All right, guys, so we
VR
have a
set.
little bit of a test for Mr. Crane. Jeff is going to ask to use the bathroom, and let's see if he can bring back something that he's not supposed to have in class.
Okay.
It's my ultimate portable gaming center. I have my gaming laptop
What in the
and
world?
my generator. Because obviously
Generator.
I'm not trying to take a test. He was basically asleep the entire class.
Oh my
I have a
goodness.
feeling he's not going to notice a single thing.
And that's crazy for him to have his head down like that. Now, has that ever happened? Yes. Yes, it has. But extremely rare. In any substitute teacher, if I walk in and they're doing that, they're not coming back. Like that's pretty much the end of their time with kids. I'm getting them out of there right away. But apparently that's his MO, and this kid, I don't know, this is kind of silly, but he's going to bring back his gaming console or something, and he mentioned a generator. Now, that's something I've never seen. I have seen kids try to bring game systems, like if they're staying after school, they're like, well, can we play our game system somewhere in the school, like if they're staying after for an evening event or something. I've seen that before. A generator? No. I've not seen that before. All right, this is getting just a little bit too ridiculous. Let's go ahead and skip to the next substitute teacher that I have lined up.
Hey kids, how you doing? You be your substitute teacher for today.
All
Okay.
right. Yo, look at that. That guy just brought in donuts.
My name
No,
is
no. And that's how I know it's fake. I just haven't seen that before, for someone to bring in donuts for the entire class. I just have not seen it. And again, you wouldn't just give that out at the beginning, even if you had like little candies. I have seen that. Not a bad intro, just a simple hello, I'm going to be your sub today. And he immediately starts in on, I assume, the lesson, but let's see, he's writing something on the board. I've never seen a sub bring in donuts. I just haven't seen that, particularly for, I assume this is elementary school. But let's see what Mr. Tollum does here.
Mr. Tollum.
All right, so his name is Mr. Tollum. Honestly, he seems like a really nice guy. I don't see him being too much of a bad teacher, to be honest.
Our last sub literally fell asleep, and you're giving us donuts. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, guys, we can still have fun and enjoy your donuts, but all I ask is for you to be respectful. We're gonna
Okay.
have fun. I don't want to have to be mean, okay? You won't like me when I'm mean.
Yeah, and this is not great. Again, with the donuts, you just don't do that. The respectful, the talk about we're going to be respectful and just sort of laying the ground rules is fine. I don't know if it's the best idea to tell them, yeah, we're going to have fun, and because students are just going to have a different expectation of what that means. That is probably going to mean to the students, we're all going to go outside and just run around and do whatever we want, but just laying some ground rules is fine.
All right, so far, all the kids love Mr. Tollum. I mean, he seems like a really nice guy, and he's passed around donuts to every single one of the kids. How could you not love him?
Okay, today we're gonna learn history. Some stuff
Okay.
that happened way back in the day. It's gonna be fun though. You guys ready to learn history?
All right, so Mr. Tollum's bringing out the textbook, which is way better than Mr. Crane, who just had his slideshow.
Is it?
Whoa. Okay, Mr. Tollum is
I don't know if it really is. You don't see that many textbooks in schools anymore, actually, and this was made within a year ago. So for students to have these big, bulky textbooks, textbooks are still used in some classrooms, but I see them phasing out depending on what the subject is and what grade level we're talking about and what students are doing. A lot of times textbooks just aren't necessary. The traditional, like, really thick, heavy textbooks. I see way more either teacher-created resources or some sort of online curriculum or digital resources is what I see way more. Actually, more in line with what the first teacher had, but it did look a little basic, I'll agree. But he's not going to be expected to, again, put the presentation together. The teacher would just provide that, whatever it happens to be.
Time for Operation Teaching a Teacher a Lesson.
You guys ready to play Kahoot?
Ooh, okay.
All right, now the entire class is going to play a game of Kahoot. I feel like Mr. Tollum made the answers wrong on the Kahoot. Oh my God, there's Sean.
All right, Mr. Tollum, right?
And by the way, if you don't know what Kahoot is, teachers do use that. It's basically a quiz game where students can log in on their phone. You saw a couple of kids getting their phones out, or it can be done on a laptop or a computer of some sort. And you log in and you answer questions and compete against each other. It's actually a pretty fun game. Most kids like it, or at least better than a traditional quiz or something that the teacher would give out on paper.
Okay, Joe, nice to meet you.
Go ahead and do whatever you gotta do.
Oh, no problem.
No, the custodian would not do this during class. They generally don't. The teacher would probably ask them, hey, can you come back another time and do that? The custodians generally know not to. So if there's someone that's coming in to clean the room that is not normally there, or is just, they don't seem to care that there's a class going on, and look at him. He's between him and the students where they can't really, or he's going to end up blocking the screen. That's going to be a red flag. This teacher would know something's up, but again, all of this seems very staged, but let's keep going.
I would not believe that guy for a second if he told me he was a janitor. Look at this guy.
Me neither.
All the kids are getting every single one of the questions wrong because they were taught the wrong answers.
And by the way, I have seen that happen in real life before, where a teacher used either Kahoot, or there's several other programs that do the exact same thing as Kahoot does, and you got to be careful. You can create your own quiz on there, or you can download one that's already been created by another user. And if you do that, you really do have to check the answers, because Kahoot does not check those answers. It's user generated. So if someone puts something in a Kahoot quiz or another online quiz system like that, or quiz game system, and it's incorrect, you can end up doing more harm than good there. And that seems to be what's happening with this particular teacher. We're going to go ahead and skip to the next one, though. The first two, my honest opinion, the first one was pretty bad, particularly because he left the room and just left them to their own devices. And then also he went to sleep, and it seems like he deliberately went to sleep, which is horrible. That man has no business in any school. The presentation wasn't that bad. It did look a little weird, and he should have just gotten whatever he was going to give the students from the teacher, but it was sort of bad. The second one, his personality was a little better, but the giving of the donuts was a little weird, and if he really did have incorrect information that he was teaching to students or quizzing students on, that's a real issue.
Teacher number 2, Mr. Tollum.
What do you think, man?
He gave the kids donuts. He was extremely nice, never raised his voice,
nice.
so he's definitely not like fully strat. He's like 1/4 strat.
Is he or is he rat?
Let's just leave him with go. Boom.
And, I sort of agree with them, kind of. I do think the second one was better than the first one for sure. But let's see the third one here, Mrs. Kim.
We're moving on to teacher number 3.
Oh, yo, she does not look like she's messing around.
Yeah,
I don't
agree.
know if I like this teacher. She seems pretty scary.
First row, up here.
I do not like her already. She's collecting all the kids' phones? Like for what?
This isn't fair. Our normal teacher doesn't collect our phones.
Yeah, it depends on the school policy on this, and just the fact that she's collecting the phones. I see a little shoe caddy that a lot of teachers do use. I've seen that many, many times before, where you have the little pockets, like a shoe caddy that you would buy in the store for your bedroom, and you just put your phone in there, and then you get it at the end. I've seen that many times before. Now, if the school doesn't generally do this substitute teacher shouldn't really just come in and do that if no one else in the school is doing it. But if they are, if the school allows that, then there's nothing wrong with that. Let's see what happens next.
I'm not normal. Phone.
What is she gonna do with the phones? Steal them?
All right, kids, quit playing games. All electronics. Every single one of them.
And, the fact that she's doing that, if the school allows, is not the worst thing. She is being a little harsh about the way that she's talking to them, so she just needs to watch it. Let's see what happens next.
You look so nice, and you had such a nice iPad when I walked in. Cough it up.
I don't have a phone.
You don't have a phone.
Cough it up.
Yeah.
Back to your seat.
Yeah, I am definitely not messing around with her. You're good.
Yeah, cough it up. Did she say cough it up? You can't say that. You can't say that to an elementary school You can't say that to an elementary school student. You just can't do it.
What?
Yeah, I'm not going in there, dude. Dude, you see the look on her face right now? She is strict.
Well, I mean, it seems like you said you're the better janitor, so I think you should definitely be going.
Ooh.
All right, guys, enough with the joking around. We got this? Thank you very much.
All
Is she
right,
holding-
rock.
Why is she holding that ruler? At first, I didn't know what that was. I thought it was a yardstick or a meter stick or something. But she looks a little menacing carrying that thing around.
Paper, scissors, and whoever loses has to go mess around with Mrs. Kim.
Bro, come on.
Okay.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Oh! Here you go, buddy. Oh my god.
I don't care what's funny. I don't care what needs to be said right now. We have got to get through this piece of paper so you guys walk out
Piece
of
of
here.
paper?
Do I make myself clear?
And clearly, she's been told to be like this. Now, have I seen substitute teachers that were kind of in this ballpark? Yes, I have. I have seen this in real life. Not quite this bad, but almost. I can't really say that this is totally, completely unrealistic, although it does seem like she was told to be this way for the purposes of this video, but let's see what happens.
All right, let's get to the lesson then. We're
Okay.
picking up on the lesson your teacher left you off on, World War II.
All right, so Mrs. Kim is also teaching history. Let's see if she does a better job than Mr. Tollum.
Do any of you know anything about wars?
They started for no reason.
That's a good answer.
They fight with guns.
Not the answer. Can anybody tell me when World War II ended?
Look that up, look that up, look that up. I forget. Oh, you don't know that?
I knew that.
You just had to look it up?
Well,
You
because
didn't know that?
All right. Well, let's see if Mrs. Kim is right. That's the most important here.
I said 2024.
Come here. Take the hoodie off. Turn it around and hit.
And the way she's holding that ruler again when she's talking to them, like, obviously she was told to do this. I've never seen anyone hold a ruler and walk around with it like that as if she's going to hit somebody. No, she was told to do that. Now, have I heard someone be this mean and harsh? Not quite, but almost. I have had a few times where I've heard something close to this, but she was coached to do this for sure.
Hit the desk. Go. The war ended in
Why is she holding that?
1945.
Yeah.
Round of applause. Good job, Miss Kim.
That's a first teaching correct information.
I know I don't.
And if they really had to look that up, hopefully Jeremy didn't have to look that up. That's pretty basic there, but let's keep going.
Let's carry on with the lesson. All right, guys, the Civil War started in 1861, and you need to tell your teacher to buy some new chalk. I've got another important...
I thought she was talking about World War II, and she's just going from thing to thing to thing. This is really crazy, but clearly just designed to create some antics for this video.
question. I know this is going to be on your test. Where did World War II start?
Okay.
Yo, seriously? Yo, she's bold. She's bold. She's busting out the iPad right there.
Excuse me, I don't believe what I'm seeing.
Oh, no.
After everything that we went through, you look in my face, to my face.
Ooh, watch it.
No, I don't have a phone. I'm too young. I don't know what it is. Trust me. I've got now. Now, back to the lesson before I got so...
Yeah, she almost crossed the line there. She probably did not, but she is being really harsh. Did she act inappropriately there? Almost, but not quite. This lady, ooh, she needs to tone it down a bit.
Rudely interrupted. The answer is Europe.
Jeremy, I think this is your time, bro. You gotta head in.
No, dude,
Hey,
no,
come on.
I'm not going. But
Hey, suck it over me, buddy.
Okay, I kind of regret this. I kind of wish Sean was doing this one because I do not want to mess around with Miss Kim.
What is going on?
Guys, I mean, honestly, I was joking. This is probably not a good time for Jeremy to walk in at all. But I will say, I do want to see Miss Kim totally demolish Jeremy.
World War I.
Oh.
Learned a little about World War II.
And again, custodians do not do this. They don't come in during classes unless they were called. Like, let's say that a student did have some drink or something and spilled it all over the place. Yes. Or there was some sort of accident in the room. But otherwise, no, they're not just going to come in there like that. This is silly beyond silly and clearly very staged. But let's keep going.
He walked in with a mustache again.
Hello, how can I help you?
Oh yeah, I'm just coming in to clean this class. I like always come around this hour. Hey, you guys know me, right?
Yeah!
My name is not Ben Dover.
I didn't think it was. Can you do that quietly?
Oh, of course. Yeah, just let me know if I ever like in the way of anything. I don't want to interrupt the lesson.
All right, well, yo, okay, Jeremy's just a couple steps in, and he's already getting grilled by Miss Kim.
Which, you know, I don't know about grilling, but you would ask, like you would talk to them. You'd say, "Oh, hey, can you might ask, can I help you?" I mean, that's a valid question. And he said she allows him to stay, but she asks, "Can you do it quietly?" There's nothing that wrong with that. There's nothing really wrong with that. But let's see what happens next.
Hey, excuse me, do you have to do that right now? Cleaning the walls isn't really necessary. Maybe you could find something else to do? You're really being a distraction. Now, as I was saying...
And I can't tell. I mean, clearly these adults are acting a bit, but I can't tell, are they real substitute teachers that were just coached on how to act during this little scene, or are they just actors that were kind of told what to say? Now, if it's the latter, the second guy and this lady actually are kind of sort of convincing. Like, I could believe that this lady was a substitute teacher. Now, it doesn't mean she's good, but I mean, of the three of them, she seems the most realistic. And again, I have in real life seen people that were not quite this harsh, but almost.
Again? Haven't you left yet?
Oh, I dropped the mop over here. I'm sorry.
I sort of noticed. You really are a distraction.
Yo, Jeremy hasn't even been there for 30 seconds and already looks like he's gonna get kicked out.
I'm really trying to be quiet.
I mean, look at this. Look at this. Have you ever seen a mustache like that? Like, if someone came up to you like this with the mustache, would you just interact with them normally, not thinking anything's wrong? I mean, it is pretty funny, though, I have to admit.
No, because I'm a little scared of this teacher.
I am honestly so proud of you guys. We had a rough start, but I am really, really proud of you. You're all rock stars.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Can we get our phones back?
Yes, you can get your phones back. Find something to do amongst yourselves for 5 minutes, no talking. Sit down, every one of you. The bell does not dismiss you. I dismiss you.
Ah, yes, I knew that was coming. So, yes, I knew that the students were going to get their phones back. I do see this little shoe caddy sometimes at different schools, and it's designed just to hold the phone until the end of the class so that students don't interrupt the class while using it or get distracted or do something they're not supposed to do on their phone, of course. And I've heard this a lot before. I haven't heard it in real life in a long time. Like, the bell does not dismiss you, I dismiss you. I heard it a lot back in the day, some years ago, but not any time recently. You just can't do that. You may ask them to stay just for a second so you can finish your thought or whatever, or if you're right in the middle of handing something out or taking something up, you might just finish that, but you can't really just hold them there and then they're late for their next class and you're going to have other students that are coming in. You can't just say, sit down and let's just sit here while you wait for me to dismiss you.
All right, you're out of here.
It was like
All
a
right, guys.
second.
So teacher number 3 is Miss Kim.
What do they
Dude,
rate
she was
her?
not messing around. Honestly, she scared me a lot. Probably would have peed myself like 2 or 3 times if she was my teacher. But at the end of the day, she did get the job done. She was really good in hitting in the answers to the kids.
Okay.
She's strapped.
Really?
Yeah. There you go.
Wow, I'm surprised. So they gave her high ratings, which, you know, of the three of them, she would probably be the best. She does need to tone it down because if she went just a little bit further with some of her comments and facial expressions, she may get in a little bit of trouble, but no potential firings that I saw. Mr.
I'm
Hagerty.
taking over your science class today.
Yo, look at this guy.
Yo, that guy's a character.
That guy looks even scarier than Miss Kim.
You can call me Mr.
I'm pretty sure that looks like Danny Trejo, is it not? Is this him? It sort of looks like him, the actor. I'm not sure here, but let's see.
Hagerty. So I've been teaching for well over 20 years and have 30 years of education from Princeton, Harvard, Yale, all the top colleges in the country and around the world. But not only do I have a formal education, I've trained at the School of Hard Knocks, okay? I am street trained. I have street education as well.
So I guess this guy is like a WWE wrestler or something, so that's exactly why we're not going to mess around with them. We're going to...
I wouldn't mess with them either. They've been going in and just sort of playing around with the various substitute teachers. And if this is Danny Trejo here in this video, I wouldn't mess with him either.
Who's ready to do some experiments? All right. I'm ready to go, too. Let me go get the stuff.
Wait, what? That was not on the lesson today. Okay, so obviously, guys.
Yeah, and again, you wouldn't do that. Your job as a substitute teacher is just to do the lesson that the teacher has prepared for you. It's not to like bring in your own stuff. He says, who's ready to do some experiments? I mean, no. Now, have I seen a teacher that will do some level of that to try and get the students interested? I have seen that before, but you really have to be careful about that. Again, your job is to go by the lesson plan, because what you may show them may have nothing to do with what the students are actually supposed to learn or what's in that course standards. That's what's most important, but at least he's trying, I guess. Let's see what he does.
Guys, I saw everything that the kids were going to get taught, and they were not supposed to do an experiment today.
Can't do that.
Mr. Hagerty? So, like, I chugged the 3 bottles of water, and I really have to use the restroom, like, really badly right now.
Oh, okay, so the kid decides to use the bathroom. If he's a good teacher, he would let him go.
And I laugh because of what people think a good teacher is. If he's a good teacher, he'll let him go. So teachers that let students do whatever they want. Now, the bathroom is kind of tricky because, yeah, you do have to let students go at some point, and most schools try to arrange that, like certain points during the day. That really is at the teacher's discretion. There are good reasons sometimes for allowing that, and there are good reasons sometimes for not allowing that, depending on what's going on, what point in the class it is, what they're doing, what the student's history about that is. Like, you may have a student that constantly does that and just doesn't come back, or is very, very late, or skips part of the class by using the bathroom or going someplace else other than the bathroom. So there's a lot to consider when thinking about that and making that decision, but it is mostly up to the teacher's discretion at most schools.
You guys just had a break, right? Am I not right? Did you guys just not have a break? What's wrong with you, man? You needed pens or a diaper or something, man?
Of course
No.
not. He keeps yelling.
No, and you would never say that. You can't say that to students. That is almost a potential firing there, but let's keep going.
We got some really important stuff to cover today.
Okay.
It's going to blow your mind. It's going to be life-changing.
Life-changing.
All right, guys, here we go.
And you don't leave the room. You don't leave the room. It didn't really show him leaving the room, but I am assuming he did so that he could bring the stuff in, and you wouldn't do that either. Again, you would just do the lesson that the teacher had prepared for you.
Oh, we're going to get this party started. Who's ready to start doing some science, huh? Yeah! That's what I'm talking about.
I need to go to the restroom.
Yo, the same kid's asking for the bathroom again.
You better let him go, Mr. Hagerty.
Can't you see that we're just right in the middle of a lesson? Like, can't you wait a little bit? You know, we want to learn, right, guys?
Yeah, you would never take it that far. You would, if you're going to say no, you would just say, you have to wait a minute. You wouldn't go into how important the lesson is, or if he can wait and, berate him in front of the whole class. That's not good either. You would just say, hey, wait just a moment. I'll let you go in a minute, or whatever you're going to say. By saying no, you wouldn't go into this whole tirade here.
Right? Let's go. Let's learn. Let's get started with this experiment. All right, guys. We're going to have some fun now. Yeah. Science is all about safety.
All right, so he's taking all precautions. He's passing out goggles. He's passing out clothes for all the kids to change.
Which is good, but as a substitute teacher, you're not supposed to be doing labs. Even if a lab were scheduled for that day, I've never seen a science teacher that is just fine with a substitute teacher doing a lab with their students, and no school would be okay with that either. I don't care what the lab is. That's something they're going to reserve for the regular teacher. I've never seen this before for a bunch of reasons.
Change for the experiment. I feel like a one-star teacher wouldn't have gave all the kids safety stuff like that, but so far, so good.
So what's that experiment gonna be?
Well, we're going to show you in a minute after you guys get all ready. This is going to be really fun. You guys are going to fall in love with science here. Here we go, guys. Here we go. It may not look like much, but wait till you see this. It's going to blow your mind. I was told to give you a lesson today, but you know what? I like to show things.
No. No, which, getting the kids interested in whatever it is okay, but he said, I was supposed to teach you some things, but I just like to show. You can't do that. As a substitute teacher, your job is not to go and just make something up. It's to follow the teacher's lesson.
I'm a visualizer, all right? So I want to show you how this really works and not get it from a book, because this is the best way you learn about things, is to see it and to do it, right?
Okay, and I don't disagree with that, like learning by doing, and there is there's a reason that labs are important in science classes, depending on, again, what grade level and what course we're talking about, but you can't do that as a substitute teacher just on a whim and totally go off from the teacher's lesson plan. You just can't do that.
Right? Right? You excited? Yeah. This is gonna be so cool. So guys, this is a real basic experiment right here. What it is that these two chemicals, when you have two different chemicals, certain ones, the molecules interact with each other in a way that create this, a better word for it is an explosion. You never
So, just like so many other shows, if you saw my review of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, check it out if you haven't seen it. They just pour some random chemicals in a container and they explode, and that's it. Like, the students don't really learn anything. Every science or chemistry class or lab situation in a movie or television, that's what happens. You pour some sort of liquid together and it explodes or makes some sort of poof around the room. I don't understand why, or I kind of do, but that's like every science class in every movie or TV show. You just pour some stuff together and it explodes, and that's it. You don't really learn anything from that, but let's see what happens here.
never know what's going to happen. Are we ready to see what happens when we mix these two chemicals together?
Yeah!
Let's get busy, guys.
Okay.
All right, here we go, guys. Let's see what happens. Whoa, isn't that cool?
Yeah!
Whoa,
Look at that. What the? Dude, does this guy not know he's messing with chemicals with kids? These kids are like, what, 8 and under? This is brutal.
Okay, relax. It is a small and controlled experiment. I mean, he's doing it in a tray.
Yeah, and I don't know what he's doing, and they keep using the word chemicals, like all these chemicals, but, you know, water is a chemical. Technically, everything is chemicals, depending on what you're talking about, but let's keep going.
Okay, guys, now I need for you to pull out your calculators, because I'm going to prove to you why this is scientifically proven to work every single time.
Yeah, but what? What is proven to work? Like, you didn't even say what's happening. You just poured it in there and smiled, and you didn't say, like, what those two items were or what was happening. Like, that's the whole value of whatever it is you're doing, which you're not supposed to do in the first place. This guy might be the worst one, honestly.
I'm going to bless you with the knowledge that I've been blessed with all my life.
What knowledge?
You got that? You guys ready? Start doing your calculation.
What knowledge? Like, he hasn't said anything, really, that's of any value.
Remember, don't miss a single number. Check and recheck. Do not even miss one decimal.
Check what?
Oh my God, look at him now. This dude, he's pulling out their calculators now to act like he's some mathematician. First he's science, now he's math.
But he didn't tell him to do anything. Like, what are they doing? Just typing random numbers? This is sort of ridiculous.
What does math have to do with this experiment?
Don't ask no dumb
Good question.
questions, okay?
No, that's a really good question, honestly.
Math and science go hand in hand. Anybody else
They
have any
do.
dumb questions? Get to calculating. Let's go.
I got it. It's 871,406, 3.7.
I don't believe it. Wow, that's great, young man.
My boy right there, get the question right. He knows everything.
All right, so that was the last one. Let's see how they rate them.
You guys were really beefing it out in there. I thought a boxing match was about to happen. All right, I think I have a good idea of what we should do. Mr. Hagerty is strapped.
Oh.
Okay.
I'm still going to.
I can't say that I really agree. He didn't really teach them anything. He just poured a couple things together and then told them to do some math in order to, I don't even know what they were doing, but the kid just says some random number. It's totally nonsensical.
After doing some major thinking, it is now time to announce the winner.
Okay.
All right, guys, it is a new day, and after a lot of thinking and seeing...
And I can sort of believe that this lady is the principal. She doesn't look entirely comfortable with this, but they're going to announce the winner. I forgot that the winner supposedly gets $1,000. Let's see what they say here.
Every single teacher in action.
I think we made the right choice. I mean, some of these teachers might not have been the best, but we think one of them in particular had redemption.
All right, hopefully you guys vote in the comments because I'm going to be checking them. But I think we do have a clear winner here. Hello.
Hello.
Maintenance guy?
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah, she was kind of the best of the four of them. None of them were really great, but I think she probably was the best.
Yes.
What is this?
All right, so we're doing a video where we're testing different substitute teachers in the school district. And we wanted to say that you were the best one.
No.
Yeah.
Well, how could you even say that after I dragged you out of the class?
Well, not gonna lie, I did deserve it, but you do deserve something that I have. Wanted to give you $1,000.
You're kidding.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Really? Well deserved. Well deserved.
All right, so that was the video. That was pretty fun. I didn't know what to expect. At first, it seemed like, oh, this is real, but not really. I don't know how real it was. It just seemed very, very staged, but it was a lot of fun, and they do raise some issues that do happen in classes, particularly with substitute teachers. But I think it was funny how Jeremy kept saying that the teacher is a good teacher if they just, have the kids do whatever they want to do. But I do agree with their rating that the third one was probably the best of the four of them. I'm going to end the video here. That was really fun. Thank you to the people who recommended this video to me. Be sure and subscribe to the channel if you're not a subscriber by clicking the button below, and I'll see you on the next video here on School Principal Reacts. Thanks for watching.